Welcome to today's afternoon class on social media marketing, volume 2, the game plan to make your Facebook and YouTube successful for your social media platforms. Today, what we're going to go over is the consistency and content that should be implemented in this game plan. I am your host, Anthony. Just a little bit about me, just real quickly. I work here at Orange County Realtors, started here almost 19 years ago, started off in the MLS department. Those of you who were in my earlier class today, welcome back. And I'm sorry, I just gotta mute everything that's going on around me here. Just wanted to let you know that I've been here for a little over 19 years, or coming up on 19 years. Started off in the MLS department. You're welcome, Cece. Started off in the MLS department, so I know guaranteed I'll speak to most of you, if not all of you, regarding rules, regulations, violations, all that fun stuff. What I'm also involved with is our outreach program. Our outreach program is designed to give you training on all your tools and products. So not only do I train on MLS, but I also train on zip forms. So I show agents how to put together transactions electronically, how to digitally sign them, and of course, all the advanced tools that zip forms has to offer. I also give training on MLS, also on tech. I love showing agents how they can utilize technology for their real estate business. Now, CC goes, any video editing software you recommend we can use for video? Yes, I'm going to make a couple of suggestions today in our class. That's going to be one of the things to help make your game plan work, CC. Depends on your computer. So are you a PC or a Mac person? Just real quickly. You're a Mac. So you've got iMovie. iMovie is the easiest and most affordable, especially for Mac users. It's free. I love that tool. You can put together still shots, videos. You can splice them, dice them, add in all sorts of fun stuff. So I think iMovie is the really greatest tool. Now, if you're doing green screen work, then you're probably going to look at something like, I think it's Final Cut. Final Cut for the Mac is about $150, I think. But honestly, for what type of videos you may be doing, unless you're really diving into video work, you shouldn't need anything more than iMovie. Now, PC users, one that I really like, and I will demonstrate it a little bit today, is WeVideo. And by the way, WeVideo is usable on a Mac. You'll notice here I am on a Macintosh. So I like using both. So yeah, I started off with iMovie and I gravitated over to WeVideo just because I do video editing on both my Mac computer as well as my PC laptop for the office. So I needed something universal to be able to drag in things and be able to do things very easily without having to download video material, then re-upload it, and then re-download it again to re-upload it. It's just too much work. So yeah, I hope that answered your question. All right, so developing a strategy to developing your social media. You got to think of social media like playing chess, right? It's like playing chess. You need to have a strategy because without one, you can't expect it to ever to win or be successful, right? If you ask the chess masters, and if anybody here has Netflix, there is a movie a movie out right now, or a series about playing chess, and it is really, really good. But no matter what, the young lady who is this grandmaster chess champion and super genius, it's all about strategy, coming up with ways of making things work and happen the way you want it to happen, not letting the other person dictate it. It's you. So like playing chess or any game, and if you're a strategy gamer like myself or a tabletop gamer like myself, because I'm a really big geek, you got to have some sort of strategy in order to come up with a way to win it. And social media is no different. Now, when it comes to strategy, we've got 3 different strategies or possible strategies to think about. Strategy number 1 is in your social media marketing is something related to real estate that you as the real estate expert is on, or that you're a real estate expert on. Okay. So your strategy to make your real estate or your social media marketing successful, you're only going to talk about real estate because you're an expert at real estate and nothing else. Strategy number 2 to think about when it comes to social media marketing. You're going to talk about things that are non-real estate related that drives you passionately, things that you're passionate about. Maybe you like eating, or you like cooking, or you like wine tasting, or you like clothing or shopping or whatever. That's all your social media strategy is all about. You want people to be able to relate to you because they have the same common interests as you, and that's it. Now there's a third strategy. The third strategy is a little bit of a mixture of strategy number 1 and strategy number 2. So it's something, a little bit of, some of your social media postings or things like that are related to real estate that you're an expert on, but it's also other things that you as a person are totally passionate about to make those connections. So you've got 3 possible strategies here. And again, each and every one of you attending today is going to approach your social media marketing in one of these 3 different types of strategies. Ideally, I like to see most of you go for number 3. Okay, number 3, I want you to have a little bit of a mixture of both, because you are more than you are a real estate expert, so people should know what your take is on the real estate industry. And of course, you have other interests outside of the business. You as an agent aren't just living and breathing real estate, are you? Anybody here living and breathing real estate, purely real estate, and you do nothing else all day long? Morning, noon, and night, from the time you rise to the time you go to bed, it's just real estate. You have other interests. Excuse me, you have other interests, right? You've got family, you've got friends, you've got things you like to do and you like to share. So ideally, I like to drive everybody to strategy number 3. But if not, and you're not comfortable with that, that's okay. Pick 1 or 2. No matter what strategy you need to be, or that you pick, you always need to be yourself. You always need to be creative and fun and open to engage with people. And you need to be a friend and a source of information. Okay? Not just in social media, but in all aspects of this business, right? Nobody here is ever fake, right? In front of a client. Pretty much the way you are right now, the clients are going to see you the way you are. You got to be able to be fun and open and engaging with people because you want to be able to answer their questions. And of course, we've got other things regarding friends and sources of information. Okay. So being yourself. Relationships are built on trust and vulnerability. Okay. A friend is someone who gives you total freedom to be who you are at all times. This is no different in the social media realm. Okay. Some of us like to think that, we can be somebody different, but you know what? We don't have to be. We don't have to hide those aspects of our lives. People buy from those that they trust, right? So the big key thing here in being yourself is that your online persona that you are putting out there to the world should also reflect who you are in the face-to-face. Now, this is probably going to be the toughest thing, especially here in California. Anybody here feel like they can't be totally themselves with a lot of people, right? Maybe you've got a small little circle of friends or family that actually know who you are. So in a way, we're asking you, if you're doing social media marketing, that you are allowing yourself to be a little bit more open and a little bit more vulnerable so that people can be able to trust you. If you were here in our first class, 62% are millennials, okay, went with a real estate agent that they met online because they felt that they got to know them personally. And their biggest thing is being able to see if they can trust you and be vulnerable with you. Well, if they can be vulnerable with you, shouldn't you be vulnerable with them? Now, I usually say you don't have to let everybody know everything about you. It's still okay to hold a little bit things personal and private in your lives. We all have that in ourselves, right? You don't have to overly share that you spend an hour out of every day sitting in the corner and crying yourself or letting out your tears, right? Not everybody needs to know that. But hey, it's okay to be an emotional person. It's okay to connect with people in that way. Now, creative and fun and engagement. Okay, you got to think of unique and fun ways to communicate with people. The way we communicate with people is how we're going to be able to build that rapport. Anybody here an introvert, meaning that you don't like to talk to people? You don't have anybody like that? I got one. I saw one hand raise up and immediately went right down. She didn't want to be seen. It's okay. It's okay. So in a way, we have to now come out of our shells just a little bit, right? This connects with us being vulnerable in that wanting to build those relationships. To be able to build those relationships, we've got to think of and allow ourselves to be comfortable enough to be able to communicate with people in the way that we're comfortable in communicating with them. And if we're doing it in an entertaining way, that just gravitates people to enjoy our company even more. And that does take time. Us introverts, because I still consider myself a bit of an introvert, even though I'm online and I am teaching classes. I have to force myself out of my shell and my comfort zone to be able to communicate and talk with people, whether it's real estate agents or whether it's other friends or people that I'm meeting for the very first time. But once we do, and we start opening that communication, we start building that connection and building a strong connection. By the way, can everybody hear me okay? Oh, and I did forget to mention something earlier here. We are recording today's session, so everybody attending today's class will get a copy of today's recording. So feel free to ask questions. If you have any questions regarding anything I go over, please write it in either the chat box or the Q&A box. I'll read it back to the audience, and we'll go over that. But does anybody have any questions so far? No? Okay. All right. Now, a friend gives great information, right? People always ask their trusted friends for advice and guidance in making big, super big decisions. This is really easily pointed out by relationships. Ladies, you always ask your girlfriends or your closest best friends about somebody that you were dating. Guys, same thing. You introduced your significant other or girlfriend to your guy friends just to see what they would think, right? Before you continued on your relationship. Well, think about this. What's one of their other biggest decisions besides marriage and children and new relationships? It's purchase decisions. Should I buy this car? What do you think about that car? Or in this case, what about that house? What do you think about me buying a house? What should I buy a house for? Should I let other people talk to their friends who are not real estate experts? What should I be available for? Hey, John, what's up? I am the real estate expert. They should be coming to me for this friendship advice, right? Is it a good time to buy? Is it a good time to sell? Is it a good time? Whoops, sorry. Is it a good time to get a loan? What's the interest like? Things like that, right? And again, everybody's going to have opinions, but whose opinions should count? The trusted friends. Sorry. Sorry, I've got a piece of equipment here going a little wonky and crazy here at the second. So Let's see here. John goes, I missed this morning's first class. Is it possible to get a copy of the class? Yes, John, it is totally possible to get the copy of the class. Just send me an email and I'll make sure that you get a copy of that and that you're included. I don't think my mic is working. That's okay. Everybody is totally muted, Mike or John. So yeah, nobody can ask live questions. You have to type those in. Oh, no problem. So here, when it comes to a friend gives great information, and people always ask their most trusted friends for big advice decisions or to help advice and guidance to before they actually make a decision. We want to be a part of that. Okay. We want to be able to answer those questions and because we are the person that they trust. Okay. Now, things to talk about. Things like, as a real estate agent, the market, right? Everybody wants to know what the market conditions are. Is it a buyer's market? Is it a seller's market? Is it a good time to buy? Is it a good time to list? Are home prices going up? Are prices going down? Each and every one of you sees a little bit something different in today's market because of the type of information and the type of clients you're going to try to attract. Thanks, John. So you need to be able to get that information, or you need to be able to talk about that information, and people want you to talk about it. Other things to talk about: the community, what's going on in the community. Like, why are you marketing the areas that you're marketing, and why is it a good place to live there, or is it a good time to sell there and move somewhere else? Are there special events like, geez, I live from Mission Viejo or Lake Mission Viejo, and if you lived around Rancho or Lake Forest or Huntington Beach or any of these places, did anybody know to go and watch the fireworks? Did anybody know if there was a fireworks display going to happen for the 4th of July? Maybe those are things to talk about, right? Summer's in full swing. What's going on in the community to have socializing events going on? Talk about that. Shows that you're connected in with your community. Current events, what's happening in life, what's happening currently. Maybe you talk about the weather. Maybe you talk about the trends of the weather. Like, hey, it's great to live here in Mission Viejo where, summers get sometimes a little warm depending on the drought, but on a non-droughty season, you're probably looking at between 80s and 90 degrees. Very little humidity, whatever. So if you're relocating from the East Coast to the West Coast, you're going from humid weather to non-humid weather. Also, talk about things that interest you. Are you into sports, TV shows, articles that interest you, wine, food, surfing, what it is? And of course, talk about a little bit about yourself. Remember that vulnerability? Maybe you talk about something that's happening in your life that you might need advice on, or that you might want some feedback on. And it again allows a gateway to see people, or allow people to see you for you. Now, if there are things to talk about, there are definitely things to not talk about, right? So things to avoid, things, the trivial things like, geez, I walked my dog today because I woke up at 6 in the morning and that's my normal routine. And I just woke up and I went downstairs and I went to the bathroom and then I had my bagel and then I decided to wash my hands. Nobody wants to read that, right? How is that relevant? That's a bit too much sharing. Obviously, we want to avoid talking about the polarizing topics. What are the two major polarizing topics in our lives? Politics and religion. Anybody here have the family saying, the one thing we don't talk about at the dinner table is what? Religion and politics. Why? Anybody want to know the reason, or anybody know the reason why we don't like to talk about politics and religion? We can still have opinions, but why is that not something that we may want to talk about on social media? Gets people upset, right? But anything the past 4 years has shown us, people really are divided. You either like certain things or you totally hate them. Now, you guys are real estate agents. And if you think that that divide was 50-50 on just those two topics alone, or just even on the politics topic, Who in here wants to alienate at least 50% of their business because you want to talk about politics? You're right, John. Too controversial. Too controversial. We don't want to alienate 50% of our business just because we have a super major opinion about whether we like Biden or Trump or Kamala Harris or, AOC or whoever, or we don't like them, right? People see that, again, half of them might like what I have to say, other half won't. And of course, if I'm looking for social media to be a source for business, I'm now alienated 50% of my business. Too much of a heated discussion, too many arguments go over the simplest things. For some reason, people don't like to talk anymore. And that's one of the things that I love about our country is you can still, at the end of the day, you should respect each other, even though you might disagree. Unfortunately, today, it doesn't seem like that's the case. So let's avoid polarizing topics to polarize our clientele. Obviously, we don't want to be rude or vulgar or obnoxious, and not just us, but anybody that we're interacting with. I talked about earlier in our first class, our code of conduct. Our code of conduct that we should adhere to is how do we treat and how do we maintain this control over people who like to be rude to other people and be mean and be vulgar and just say things just to be obnoxious to get a rise out of people. Our code of conduct should be able to take people like this and either A, create an environment, or create an environment, or tell them that this is an environment of simplicity where we need to respect each other, or B, we just don't deal with them anymore and we get rid of them. What we don't want to do is engage. Okay. The crazy thing that we see here, and I've seen from social media, is engaging with somebody who's being rude. Today's internet really has a lot of people, that like to stir up trouble. They're called the trolls or the trollers. And what they will do is they will purposely go out of their way to try to get a rise out of you. It's how we need to be able to conduct ourselves, because obviously, even though we might get fired up about something, we need to be able to maintain a sense of control to be able to handle that. Okay. How many people have seen people just engage with other people just to argue? Probably some of us, right? Do we end up getting into that argument? Hopefully not. Right? What does that show our other clients if we engage with somebody in a volatile argument, on the internet that, by the way, doesn't ever go away? Once it's out on the internet, it's out there, right? Tells your other potential clients that if you can't maintain control over somebody and you can't handle something, how are you going to be able to handle a transaction with them if you can't control yourself personally? So if somebody's being rude or being vulgar, maybe you send them a comment and say, I can respect your opinion, but this is not the forum for that. If you want, we can have a private discussion. Feel free to contact me or email me offline, and we can have a discussion about this. Now, all of a sudden, you're trying to pull them away from this medium that everybody sees. And what that shows is, even though this person's trying to get a rise out of you, it shows that you're trying to maintain control. And if they do continue in disrespect, then you just inform them, I'm sorry, we're just going to have to either kick you out of the group or I'm going to have to unfriend you, because this is not the place for that. And it will not be tolerated. And that's it. Obviously, we don't want to criticize others because we don't like to be criticized ourselves. Just shows us being petty. We don't want to do that. And of course, sell things in the wrong menu. So on our personal page, the last thing we want to do necessarily is always try to pitch people to buy things, right? That should be done on your business page, or at least started on your business page. All right. So what and how your message stands out. Now, again, this is for the introverts as well. This is going to be the challenge. You have to make your messages stand out. Don't be afraid to stand out in the crowd. Okay. So I'm asking all the introverts here today, come out of your shell. Make your messages stand out. The last thing we want to do is to be blended in with everybody else. First thing that we kind of touched on is when you talk about the about section, or when you create your business page or your YouTube channel and you talk about that description or descriptor about who you are, you need to make yourself stand out. What makes you different than any other real estate agent out there? What are your unique skill sets that you have that other agents may or may not have, right? One of the biggest things that will make you stand out are the areas that you know in the places that you live and why people should move there. And of course, the benefit is you know what homes are in the area that will help people take advantage of those amenities, right? Now, when it comes to our messages, here are some examples of some really amazing messages that I pulled from Instagram and Facebook. Here in the background, Marky Lemons Rowell. She's a California, or I'm sorry, she's a realtor out in Chicago. I love her. She's a pit bull. But she's not just a pit bull, she's a whirlwind of great entertaining information. She is a huge person on Instagram. If you can find her on Instagram just to see the types of posts and the type postings that she does, but she is a national speaker and a trainer, and she's a real estate agent with her own group in the city of Chicago. But what I like about this is here, her basic Facebook post is just feeling how she's feeling today, very thankful at the National Association of Realtors. She basically talks about her being recognized by NAR in the Realtor magazine for her Instagram success. That's it. She's being thankful. She shows the magazine to look for, to maybe show where her article is at. It's short, it's simple, but no matter what, she doesn't brag about herself. She's being thankful to NAR for this recognition. Now, here's another one that actually came off of Instagram. Window cleaning 101. Simple picture. And actually, I'm sorry, this actually came off of Facebook. 1 part vinegar, 1 part hot water equals a streak-free natural cleaning. Short, simple, sweet, nothing that needs to be said. What you need, and what you get. So you don't have to worry about the chemicals. You don't have to worry about the ammonias. You don't have to worry about the chlorine. Here, vinegar, water, and that's it. If you don't mind the smell of vinegar, there you go. It's a great disinfectant. I know I use vinegar for cleaning coffee pots. You get those coffee pot stains, vinegar will eat through that like butter. Here we go, rent versus buy. The benefits, a simple infographic on Instagram, right? Rent versus buying, the benefits of renting versus the benefits of owning a home. Something short, sweet, and simple. Now, this one I also liked a lot. That was on Facebook. Which backyard do you prefer? And it's just 2 simple pictures. Something that's fishing for comments. Now, about a year ago, I was teaching this class at First Team, and I had this this slide came up. One of the First Team agents loved, which backyard do you prefer? And she goes, you know what, Tony, I want to try this out on Facebook because I can't believe that people would actually engage with this. And I said, try it, see. So what she did was that she went on to, her, I think she went on Canva. She took a picture from one of her, or 2 of her properties, one picture of one backyard, the other picture of the other backyard. One was in Newport, the other one was in San Clemente. And she just had the words up here, which backyard do you prefer? She posted it up. The next day, she contacted me or emailed me, and she said, Tony, I cannot believe this. She goes, so far out of my 500 friends, 175 of them commented on which backyard they liked. One person, and it was almost 50-50. 50 of them, or 50% of them, liked the top backyard. The other 50% liked the bottom backyard. On my Facebook business page, I had even more people, of about another 1,000, again split 50-50, liking both properties, of which 20 wanted to see the property at the very top, 30 wanted to see the property at the bottom. And she contacted me a week later and said, I opened escrow within this past week on these homes based on the people that showed the property. So she was quite thankful on how simple a message can be on 2 different properties, what type of feedback she would get from potential clients, and got 2 escrows out of it. She closed both of her listings, got them into escrow. Who doesn't like that? Anybody like that, by the way? And no video was required, just simple infographics. Everybody's raising their hands. Good. Good. Funny enough, why these messages or these types of messages work, it's how they're delivered. Are you doing text or writing, or are you doing videos? Now, when it comes to this, you got to remember 90% of information comes to us through our visual input, through our eyes. 70-40%. People remember 70% and respond 40% better to visual information than just having to read it. So this is why videos and pictures are so successful. It's the way we process this information. Okay, so if 90% of the information that comes to us is through visual, and we are able to respond to it 40% better than just having to read everything, why not do it? So we got to come up with unique ways to deliver our messages to what we want to deliver, right? That saying, a picture says 1,000 words, right? Left to interpretation. This is how people interact with us and how we want them to interact. Visual postings on social media increases engagement by more than 170%. So with just that one picture, which backyard do you prefer? More people will respond to something like that than writing an entire article about what you feel is happening or what you're doing with a property. Just some simple words, not even words, just simple photos. Maybe an explanation of what you're trying to get from people in that photo, right? Or that video. Now, are there other parts of the plan? Sure enough, right? Time management is key. We need to make and manage time for our Facebook and our other social media. Why? Because not all postings are the same. There are bad times to post. There are good times to post on social media, depending on the platform you're trying to engage on or trying to get people to engage on. Like the worst times to post on Facebook are between midnight and 8 a.m. Why? 90% of people or 100% of people are asleep. Right? Go figure. Should be asleep. Nobody should be up at that time. Nobody's going to look for those posts unless there are other night owls, which is few and far between. Now, the best days of the week to post on Facebook are usually Thursday and Friday, right? Maybe on Twitter, Monday through Thursday. Nobody needs to be inundated with news over the weekend. They just need to know what's happening during the week. Instagram, good time to post what's happening Monday, right? You post a couple of pictures up from your weekend. That's kind of modified a little bit, but just know. So what's your Facebook schedule? You have to ask yourself this. Once you've decided on your posting schedule, you got to book your calendar. I don't know of any real estate agent today that doesn't live and die by their calendar, right? And where's your calendar mostly found on? Your phone. Anybody here leave their house without their phone? And when you did, or if you did leave your house without your phone, what was the very first thing that you did when you discovered you didn't have your phone? You went and turned right around, right? Remember the old saying, never leave home without it? Anybody remember what that was supposed to be for? John? Marina? Nobody remembers? It was an old credit card commercial for American Express. That's right, the Amex, the credit card commercial. Never leave home without it, right? You always held up the credit card. Well, guess what? Your phone is now your credit card, right? You never leave home without your phone. You always have access to your schedule, like everything else in your life, between brushing your teeth, scheduling your appointments, whether it's a buying appointment, listing appointment, showing appointment, inspection, to the kids' activities, to notching out some time to go and work out. Guess what you're going to squeeze in there? Your social media time. Now, this is where we need to think about the algorithms. The biggest thing that people make the mistake on is I can log on one time and spend an hour dedicated to Facebook. And then you wonder, geez, why aren't people still seeing my posts? And that is because Facebook's got a very tricky, interesting algorithm. You'll notice here that with Facebook, it says minimally you should be going on at least 3 times a week. As a matter of fact, today, based on its current algorithms, it's a minimum of 3 times per day. Now, I know everybody's freaked out when I say that, right? Oh my gosh, Tony, 3 times a day. I know I can't do it. Social media is not it for me. Stop right now. Stop. Facebook does not look at hours or time spent. What they see is times gone on. Okay. You could literally go 3 times a day and spend a total of about 15 to 20 minutes the entire time. What you're doing is you're kicking off the algorithm that you're consistently going to Facebook to read posts, comment posts, like posts, okay, and do posting yourself. But you don't have to spend a lot of time on posts or on Facebook. As a matter of fact, they will drop your algorithm if you spend longer periods of time and less times going to Facebook. Okay. So 20 minutes a day, once in the morning for about 10 minutes, then once at least in the afternoon for about 5, and then once in the evening to end out your day for 10. So if we go 10, 5, 10, or I'm sorry, 10, or I'm sorry, 5, 5, 5, that's 15. So maybe you spend 10, 5, 5. That's a 20-minute day on Facebook. Now, if the opportunity strikes, maybe you go on a couple of extra times because maybe certain things are happening, which we'll talk about here, but at least you're hitting that 3 time a day algorithm. If you think 3 times a day for, say, 7 days a week, that's 20 times or 21 times per week, which now elevates your algorithms higher so that your friends and your family and everybody who's on your Facebook will actually see more of your postings. Now, what you're also doing is you're also not getting sucked into the time sink of Facebook, which is I'm spending hours upon hours each and every day on Facebook. I'm mitigating because my life is spent doing other things, my social media marketing. So 3 times a day, no more than 20 minutes for the entire day. Put it on your schedule. And then stick with it. The moment you renegotiate that time, like, oh, you know what, I'm going to put that off till later, you'll never do it or you'll forget. Okay. By the way, are there any questions on that? No questions? Okay. Whoops. So Facebook marketing successful tips. Thursday and Friday between 1 and 3 are considered the best times to post on Facebook. So if you're thinking about doing an open house for the weekend, this is the time to post it. Put it on your Facebook business page between the times of 1 and 3. So that way your likes will see it. And of course, their friends will see it, and their friends from friends will see it as well. And of course, you can put it out there as an event. If you're doing a Facebook or an open house virtual tour, or a virtual showing whereby maybe you're not allowing anybody just to walk in off the street, maybe this is a great time to advertise that as an event. Go into your Facebook business page, schedule the event, and then get that event out there. That way they can register for it. So that way when you tune in on Saturday morning at 11 a.m., you've got people watching you on your Facebook Live for your open house. Now, most businesses on Facebook do post on an average of 8 times a day. I'm only asking you to do it at least 3 times a day. I know, again, how busy real estate agents are, and I know every real estate agent here has scheduled out time to sit down with me today. So I'm asking you at least 3 times a day, once in the morning, once in the afternoon, and once at night. Post multiple times throughout the day versus spending hours. Again, that's going to kick off the algorithm necessary for your posts to be seen on a regular basis. If you do that at least 3 times a day, then 4 out of 5 posts will be seen by your friends and family. When you're on there, this is where, if you were here for the first class when I was talking about looking at or putting people into lists, that's a great, efficient way of being able to view the comments. So maybe you don't need to look at the family. So then in your Facebook, you switch it to your client list or your buyer list to see what your buyers who you've put under those lists are writing on their wall. Now you can go in and comment. Hey, that was really great. That looks awesome. Where'd you go to dinner at? Whatever. And by the way, when you're on there, not only like things, but comment on things. And again, 5 minutes goes quick. 15 minutes goes quick. Now, images account for 70 to 90% of the Facebook ad performances. So if you're doing Facebook targeted ads, have some sort of image or video in those targeted ads. Why is that? Because 47% of the Facebook videos ads happen within the first 3 seconds. Somebody sees that it's a video, they immediately click on it to watch it. Crazy enough, 26% of Facebook users who clicked on an ad reported making a purchase from that ad. So again, today's businesses, right? Or today's business where property values are at an all-time high. Wouldn't that be great to know that in the first 3 seconds of you creating a targeted ad on Facebook and you've got a video, that there's a chance that 26% of the people, or out of 100, 26 of them want to buy that home and will try to buy that home and make offers? Heck yeah. 1 in 5 Facebook videos are now a live broadcast. So this encourages you to actually sit down and talk about something that's going on right there at that moment. Again, do an open house, but instead of letting anybody off the street, maybe you do a virtual or a live open house where you walk through the property and talk about the property to the live audience. 42% of customer service responds to inquiries to their ads within the first 60 minutes. So talk about engagement. If somebody responds to the ad, respond to it in less than an hour, or else you're going to lose that lead. Right? $100 ad to run a 2-week ad, and it's got a video in it and somebody responds to it. And what's the median sales price in Orange County today? 1.1 million at a modest, say 2%. 2% of 2 million is what? Anybody? $20,000 roughly. So the $100 that you spend, and if you didn't respond to somebody responding to that ad, is that just $20,000 out the window? Heck yeah. Get your payday. Now, you may ask yourself, well, geez, Tony, how do I stay consistent? What do I talk about? Geez, what do I need to do? Let's start off with a calendar. Here's a 30-day social media calendar. Some guidelines for Facebook and Instagram. Here are 30 things to talk about each and every day, at least to get started. Maybe day 1, July 1st, you talk about something inspirational. Day 2, you talk about your deals, what's going on, right? People in the community, is there anybody offering a 2-for-1 special? Something like that, right? Shows that you're in touch with the community. What's the big question of the day? That's day 3. Relevant content, right? Ask your followers for their opinions on the industry. Hey, gang, I know you and I are friends. There are 500 of you out there. What's your take on the business today? Generates conversation, generates opinions. You can see where your audience that you've earned their mindset is, because that's where you're going to be able to guide them to buy or sell property. Think about things like that. So here's the 30-day calendar. Now here's something else for you guys. Stories to talk about on your Facebook account. Maybe things to do videos on or your Facebook Live on to help brand you. Maybe number 1, we've got 30 things here. Now, by the way, if you guys want a copy of this presentation, just email me. Email me at Tony, Tony, at ocrealtors.org, and I'll get you a copy of this presentation with these suggestions. Actually, I'll just send you the whole presentation. So you'll get the calendar. You'll get the suggestions plus everything else that's in this presentation. Anybody want that? Top 3 things to do to get your home ready for the market. Maybe the top 5 things you need to do in order to get yourself prepared to buy a property, right? Top 3 places to market your home in. Questions to ask your lender, things like that. So here's a list of 30 things that you guys can talk about to help you with your calendar. So the thing I'm going to ask you is, anybody have any questions on Facebook, Instagram, or social media? No questions? All right. So now let's talk about our approach to video marketing. Okay. So directing video starts with our plan, right? The idea is like, that I want to use videos for my marketing, but it's the plan that's going to help put this idea into action. That's the biggest problem that I see with a lot of agents. Everybody here today wants to do some sort of video marketing, but you don't know how, or you don't have a plan in place to be able to put this idea into action. And that's the biggest point here. We need to put this idea into action, because without the plan, the action will never happen. Now I have a 4-part plan. Part 1 of the plan. You got to dedicate resources. You don't have to spend a lot of money on those resources. As a matter of fact, videos today are the easiest DIY and most affordable DIY, do it yourself platform out there. Okay. You also got to dedicate some time to record. Again, that's schedule. We'll talk about that again. Place to record, right? Got to have a nice quiet place to be able to record your videos. Okay. Obviously, ideally, it's the office. Now, if you have a super busy office and there are a ton of people there and there's no quiet place, then maybe they're home. Now, I know we're here in the summer. Kids are home from school. Maybe some of them are not at day camp. They're here at home. Maybe you're still in lockdown. Who knows? And it's still loud at your house. Hey, mom, dad's got to record a video. I got to use this for my time. Either go outside and play, or I need to put you down for a nap. And while nap time's happening, we record a video. Equipment. Camera or mobile phone is good enough. As a matter of fact, your mobile phone today, you don't have to spend, again, a ton of money. You do not need a DSLR or a high-end video camera that some of these people are spending money, a lot of money on, because you can spend thousands upon thousands of dollars for a high-end camera. But don't worry about that. Your phone is perfect enough. Your phone, especially if you're an iPhone user, okay, and it's a modern iPhone like 10, 11, and 12, and I think they're coming out with 13, records in 1080 4K video. Now, anybody know the difference between 10K and or 1080p and 4K? Or at least a simple explanation of the two? Nope, nobody knows. Okay. So 1080p is how many pixels are in a given area. Okay. So all is about their sharpness and things like that. And a few years ago, and I want to say about 10 years ago, when 1080p first came out, when the plasma TVs came out, we were all amazed, right? Wow, the colors are so rich and vibrant, and geez, in this 1080p TV, I can now see the makeup lines of the actors and actresses. As a matter of fact, you can even see sometimes the different colors of the makeup to try to blend in and hide those blemishes on somebody's face. Now, 4K is 4 times 1080p, so it's even that much more crisper of color and contrast and all this other stuff. So basically what we now see at 4K is the pores. Anybody ever see that now? Like nowadays, actors and actresses are really self-conscious a lot of times, because when that close-up shot happens, not only do we see the makeup line, and a lot of times I see the actual green color of the makeup that they're using on certain actors and actresses to kind of blend in the light, but sometimes you actually get to see the bad skin that these actors and actresses actually have. I've seen really deep blackheads and deep pores and all this other stuff. They're talking by the end of this year to have 8K video available. Now 8K, geez, I've got 4K here. I'm already seeing, you know, that actor and actresses is really not that great looking all of a sudden. And now you want to show how much more sharp that's going to be? Geez, I can only imagine that you're going to be able to see the musculature of someone's face underneath the skin. So these cameras nowadays, my phone, which I think is a Apple 10 or iPhone 10, takes 4K video. If I use nothing else, this is it. I got nice, crisp, clean video going through this camera. So maybe we have that. I've already spent my $150 to get my phone to text message and everything else. Well, might as well use it as a camera. Now, you may want to think about a microphone. Now we got a couple of ways on this. I can probably go to Amazon and get a wired microphone that I can plug into my camera, which is a nice lavalier one. Now I got direct audio there, right? 20 bucks, not a big deal. Or maybe some of us have, and let me see here. Maybe you're super sophisticated and you've got your iPods or your earpods. Your earpods, $150 you spend on that. Not only can I talk on the phone, but I can listen to my music, but now I can use those headsets for my video work because it's connected via Bluetooth. Now, if you don't want to spend that much money, John, not a problem. An iPhone 8 takes 1080p high def video. So you're at least recording in high definition 1080p. So you're okay. You're totally okay. Now, if you're using an iPhone 4, then you're recording in 720. But again, 720 is the bare minimum for high definition. But they're still really good. Maybe some other video equipment maybe you want to think about for stabilization, either a handheld gimbal, which is totally motorized, which is hopefully, and if my batteries aren't dead, and they shouldn't be, if I turn it on, as long as my camera doesn't start spinning. And I don't know why that's doing that. Well, anyway, it shouldn't be spinning like that, but it is. And I guess that's just the way my little gimbal is. But the idea behind the gimbal is to keep my camera straight so I can take very steady video. So that my camera just stays straight and takes very easy and straight video. So we have that. Or you just maybe have your selfie stick, or maybe you get a nice little tripod. Again, you can find stuff on Amazon for very affordable. Just to show you what I mean, how easy it is. Just go to Amazon. I love Amazon. If you're not an Amazon purchaser, then there are other stores like Walmart, Target offer the same thing. But here on Amazon, I just go video equipment or mobile video equipment. There we go. Mobile video equipment. And there we go for now. Not that we're going to spend $300, but this has got like the motorized gimbal and everything like that. But just something as simple as just plugging your phone in and you've got a nice little lighting, a nice little camera thing, $37. You go maybe cheaper. You've got a nice little stand that your phone can fit in with a nice little lighting equipment, easy, compact, short and easy, $40. So you can spend as little or as much money as you want for what you need. Here we go. We got a nice little desk tripod for $39 with its own little microphone and a lighting. So now you can do your own video from your phone at your office, which is kind of cool. So you can go the expensive route or the non-expensive route. It's up to you. Or you just do the simple phone tripod. And now you can go even cheaper. Something easy, set up, point and shoot. So those resources are great. And of course, the other thing that the other thing you need is some sort of video editing software. What was it? I think it was you, Rochelle, that had asked about what video software you want to use. iMovie for Mac users, Movie Maker typically for PC users. It's free. Both of these are free. WeVideo Editor is great. It's an internet-based video program for about $100 a year. Full video editing software. And what's nice about it is I can use this on both Mac and PC. So if I'm traveling from one to another, I can very easily edit video. And it's also just as available as iMovie on the phones. And WeVideo is great for those of you who are Android phone users, because really there is no video editing software that the Android phones have access to other than this. So at least not what I've been able to tell. So totally worth it for you. So those are things. All right. Any questions on part one of the plan? I know, kind of crazy, right? The thing just spun. So I guess my batteries have to be charged here. Are there any questions on this? Part one. All right. Part two of the plan. You got to figure out what stories you want to tell in your videos. Okay. Part of that is you got to figure out or think about what audience you are wanting to connect with in these videos. Okay. So what type of audience am I trying to connect with? Am I trying to connect with buyers? Am I trying to connect with sellers? Am I trying to connect with the REO buyers? Am I trying to connect with investors? Right? Those are the people I want to connect with based on the particular video I'm making. Now, you also need to consider what audience you're wanting to attract. So not only do I want to connect with the people that I've already made friendships with or connections with, but I also want to attract other people to my business that are looking for the same things. Beautiful thing about today is that each and every one of you is an artist in a sense, because the way you deliver your messages is the type of audience you're going to attract. You talk positive, you're going to attract more positive, talk positive about the business, you're going to attract positive people about the business. You talk negative about the business, you're going to attract people that are negative about the business. No matter what, it's going to be business. These are the people that are how they're going to see you, how they're going to connect with you, how you're going to be able to communicate with them. Now, the stories you're going to tell and how you're going to tell it to be able to attract this type of audience, to connect with this audience. Now, your videos, you want to keep them short but informative. So to start, keep it short. You want to give them small nuggets of information, about 2 to 3 minutes if possible. Okay, you need to give the audience an excuse to want more from you. Things that I've seen, people will go on 15, 20, 30 minutes on a video talking about the market, talking about things that are going on. And at the end of it, what's the reason that I want to talk to them? If you've given me everything that I need to know about the business, about how to list my home, about how to buy a home, things like that, why should I ever need you? So maybe, or what we have to think about in this case is, and my best analogy is fishing. Anybody here like to fish? Anybody ever gone fishing before? Probably a couple of you. John has? Excellent. Now, John, I want to ask you a real simple question, right? When it came to fishing, there are 2 ways of doing it, right? The first way is we take the bait, we dump it in the water, and we expect the fish to jump in our boat, right? Or what's the other way? You put the bait on the hook, you throw the hook in the water with the bait, and now the one fish grabs it, and now we pull it into the boat, right? We use the pole, we use the hook, and we use the bait. So instead of giving over information or giving the entire bait over to the fish to hopefully maybe expect a fish or 2 to jump in the boat, which do they? No. But if I put a little bit of the bait on the hook and I throw the hook in the water and then I snagged one, how much more successful am I as a fisherman in that sense? Probably a lot more, right? So in this case, when it comes to our real estate video marketing, we want to be able to give them small bits of information to want more from us, right? The small bits of information is this. Maybe we think about in that video that most agents will go the top 5 things in order to do to prepare to list a home. Well, instead of doing that, maybe I'm only going to give them the top 3. Here are the top 3 major things that you as a homeowner need to do in order to prepare to list your property. Now, for more information or the next step, feel free to give me a call or an email. Now, all of a sudden, somebody sees it. They go, oh my gosh, I've done the first 3. What's the next step, Tony? Now maybe they write a comment. Maybe they call me. Maybe they email me. What's the next step? If they write a comment on the video, I've done steps 1 through 3. What's step number 4? Now I maybe give them step number 4. But then I give them an excuse. Hey, for steps 5 and up, based on your situation, let's talk and discuss your unique situation that may be different than anybody else. So step 4 is generic for everybody, but step 5 and up may be something unique for you. Give me a call, shoot me an email. Now I've what? Reeled them in. Sell the sizzle, play the takeaway. That's right. By the way, part of this storytelling, never or avoid fading to black in your videos. Subconsciously, there's something in our brains that the moment a video fades to black, we begin to forget information. So in our videos, give them either a call to action, right? Tell them of an upcoming event, or stay tuned, or subscribe to your channel, or what needs to happen next, like give me a call or shoot me an email. And then of course, end the video with a slide with all of your contact information. Now remember, In our first class, we talked about it's very important with DRE to have all first point of contact information somewhere in the video, whether it's in the beginning, the middle, or the end. No matter what, even if I started off in the beginning with information, end it with your information. Give them a reminder of who they just saw, spoke to, and how to get in touch with you. So make a slide either on Canva or PowerPoint or Keynote and make it into a picture file. That way, when you are putting your video together, you end that video with your contact data. Give me a call today, right? You got your company logo, you got your company name, you got your name, your DRE license number, phone number, email address, snickerdoodles, whatever. End that video with that information. And again, with an upcoming event, hey, stay tuned or tune in next week when, or subscribe to my channel for updated videos or more videos as I post them. By the way, are any questions on part 2 of the plan? That sounds pretty simple, right? See, it's not complicated. It's just steps. All right, part 3 of the plan. Schedule the time. Just like with social media, Facebook, you got to put time off, right? Consistency is key to your marketing. Okay. If you only do one video, don't expect a lot in return. I can't tell you how many agents I've spoken to that tell me that I'm full of it, that video marketing doesn't work. And when I ask them, well, how many did you do any videos? The answer is yes. How many videos did you do? I only did one. When did you do it? 3 years ago. Okay. So you only did one video. You did it 3 years ago. And that's it. You've done nothing else. How do you expect to ever be successful if nobody knows that you're doing videos? My earlier stat from this morning's class was that 70% of consumers went online to watch a video before they made a purchase decision, right? And usually with that is, geez, they want to watch videos on the people that they're going to work with, right? But in our MLS, less than or only 12% of the listings in the MLS actually have videos. So there's more than 87% of agents that don't even do a video on a listing. That means that more than 87% of you don't even do video marketing. So if you've never done a video before and consumers aren't used to seeing agents doing videos, how would they ever know that you're on video? If you only do one video ever, this means that your audience is never ever going to see you, right? Or not even your friends or family, right? So it's never going to be successful. You need to put out, honestly, numerous videos consistently before you start to begin to notice results. I have my video channel up on YouTube. I've had it for close to 6 years now. I will tell you, I have now, I mean, out of 6 years, I have 602 or 610, I think, as of today, subscribers. And I don't really push my video channel, right? But I will tell you that my first year, I didn't see anybody on my YouTube channel. I had to talk about it consistently. I had to put videos up consistently before I started to see a pickup in views and actual subscribers. I actually don't think I got my first subscriber until 1.5 years after I started putting out videos. Okay. Now you guys are going to be doing other things to be able to market yourself, and you're going to promote your YouTube channel, just like you're going to promote your Facebook business page. So you're going to get faster results, but the still thing is you need to be consistent and you need to put out numerous videos. Ideally, agents should be doing videos once a week. Now I know I've just freaked out everybody again going, oh my God, Tony, how do I do a video once a week? I don't expect anyone to do this right out of the gate. It's like working out. Okay. Ron, I know you're still here. I know that you work out. Were you expected when the first time that you worked out to bench press 350 pounds? No, not at all. Right? We have to build up to it. It's like working out. You can't expect to run a marathon unless you start to practice it, right? Can't expect to run a 10 mile if you've never ridden or jogged ever in your entire life, right? But what did we do? We maybe ran to the block before we got winded. And then we did it again and again. And then by maybe, the third day, we were able to run 2 blocks. And then the 5th day, we've run 6 or 7 blocks, right? So I'm asking you guys, plan at least 1 video a month. If you do 1 video a month, after 12 months, you've now all of a sudden got 12 videos in your video library. Now all of a sudden, you're probably going to scratch your head going, wow, that was super easy and quick. Okay. Then all of a sudden, you may all of a sudden find yourself maybe after month 4 or 5, you're putting in a little extra video time to do other things, right? Now, also videos, scheduling and things like that depend on the type of videos, right? Because that's going to help vary your schedule, because you're going to have quarterly videos, monthly videos, weekly videos, and of course on the fly as needed. So even if you don't worry about the weekly or the quarterly or on the fly, if you're doing at least once a month, whatever the topic is that you are passionate about for your real estate industry or what's going on in your life, that's 12 videos, 12 more videos than 87% of the other agents in your business that don't have video. Part 4 of the plan, uploading and analytics. You got to be mindful where people need to view the posts, to view those videos. So post to your YouTube channel, right? Number 2, search engine in the world. Number 2, social media platform in the world. Post to your personal website. So take the link that you got on YouTube and put it or embed it on your website, right? Like your intro video. Okay. Maybe you talk about the city or whatever. Don't forget about Facebook. Facebook being the largest social media platform in the world, put it on your Facebook page, those videos. Boost those posts if need be, right? To start getting people to like you. And then all of a sudden you friend the likes, and then you just build up from there. Now you're going to also analyze and measure the video analytics, right? Because this is important, because why? You're going to be looking for how well your videos are doing. You're going to see which videos are viewed the most, how long people are actually watching them. If a viewer shares a video, or even better yet, if a viewer comments, if they like or dislike a video, if they write a comment, respond to the comment. That's the most important part. If you're saying, what are the top 3 things? And somebody goes, what's number 4? Answer it. It shows that you're obtainable and that you're willing to engage with your audience. Now, this is all good to know, the analytics, right? Because you're going to begin to tailor the content to the demographics that are viewing. This is how you're going to be able to find your niche market based on the types of videos you're making, when you're recording them, when you're posting them, things like that. In a way, we now not only become a real estate agent, or we're a real estate agent, but we're also a TV station, right? Remember the old days of TV? You had the fall season, and you had the spring and summer season, right? Spring and summer were all the repeat shows. Fall and winter were all the brand new shows, right? That's when also all the pilot shows were released, because they wanted to gauge people's interest before they committed to a full season for next year. By the way, are there any questions on this 4-part plan? No questions? All right. So types of videos to produce and make. There are tons of content out there to produce, but here are some suggestions. The About Me or intro video. That one is a must and should be in everybody's video channel, as well as on your Facebook business page, right? Have that video up there introducing who you are and what you like to do in the business. As a matter of fact, your 30-second to 1-minute video on this, you probably only have to update maybe once a year, if that, or once every 5 years. Because you're going to change your specialties. You're going to change the way you look, right? Some of us will grow hair. Some of us will lose hair. Some of us will gain weight and some of us will lose weight. We go through those changes. Periodically, we need to update that intro video. But have that intro video ready so that way you can put it on your marketing. Listing videos are important. Again, only 12% of the listings in the MLS have an actual virtual tour or listing video going through the property. If 70% of consumers look for that to be able to help them make a purchase decision, we're not meeting their demand. So if you got a listing, whether you make the video yourself or you ask your photographer to put together that video for you, I highly recommend that you put it together yourself because you're going to be able to narrate it and make a call to action for them to call you, right? That's what you want to do. Client testimonials. This one is the most important one. So do I have anybody getting ready to close escrow this week or this month? You can write that in your chat box if you want, or raise your hand. Anybody closing escrow? Anybody in escrow? Sue, Rochelle, John? Nobody? Nobody's in escrow today? Well, we got to change that. This is one of the key videos to help build that trust and credibility. It's not just you saying this, or people don't like to read, so they don't really like to read reviews. But if it's a video, people will watch it and listen to it. As a matter of fact, the video is going to be able to convey more in those 30 seconds than 1.8 million words will ever convey. So, John, eventually, don't be sad. We'll get you into escrow, right? Day that you go close escrow, whether it's your buyer or your seller, and you go to pass over the keys, or in this case, maybe you hand them their closing check and say, "Hey, John, I'd like to use you in my marketing. Would you mind just doing a quick video here for 30 seconds and just tell me what you liked about my services, or what you thought about my services?" And then sit back and record them. Now, I know a lot of people sometimes go, well, what happens if John says something really bad, or his wife says something really bad about your services? Well, number one, if somebody says something bad about your business, do you use it in your marketing? Probably not. But wait a minute. Let's think about that negative and switch it into a positive. Okay. Obviously, if John and his wife or his spouse were highly upset and disappointed in my performance, number one, because I am willing to record them and they are now voicing their opinion about what they thought about my services, I've now in a way controlled where John's anger and his wife's anger go out. We all have heard about Yelp, right? Now, some of us may or may not be on Yelp, but Yelp can be one of the more damaging reputation destroyers out there in your business. If somebody writes a bad review about you, it is impossible to get it removed. Now, what I've done here is I've now recorded John and his disappointment in my services. Tony, you know what? I have to be honest with you. My experience and my wife's experience with you has been very lacking. Here's the problems that we had. You didn't communicate. You didn't go over the contracts. We didn't know what was going on in the escrow process. We felt abandoned by you. And if we had a choice, we would never use you again. But thank you very much for this opportunity for us to vent and tell you what we actually thought. Okay, I'm going to take that video. Now, in this case, to spin this into a positive, I will, because John's first instinct is, you're not really going to use that for your marketing, are you? No, I will. I'm going to put that video out there because obviously people want to not only see not only good reviews, but they also want to see honest, bad reviews as well. But what I'm also going to do is I'm going to record a an apology video. Now, number one, if I'm just starting out in the business, isn't this great feedback to know where I need to improve on? Yes. And hopefully I want to grow from that bad experience, right? Because knowing the bad that I've done is only going to make me better, because I'm going to make sure I don't make the same mistakes for my future. So I'm going to do an apology video, and I'm going to do an apology video to John and his wife. John, I want to tell you that I respect you for your honesty, and thank you very much for your honesty. I really appreciate that. Knowing that what I came up in, lacking, I want to promise you today that I'm going to take this and I'm going to grow from it. I'm going to make sure that I know the contracts and I know the process, and I'm not going to let any of my future clients, be left alone. Thank you so much for that honest opinion. And if you, if you give me a chance in the near future, if you do decide to list your home, that you'll think about me and give me another shot, because I want to show to you that I got better. And then you post that. I'm not blaming John. John, you're full of it. You're wrong. This is what happened. This is what they exert. I'm not going to try to divert the blame. I'm going to own my responsibility, and I'm going to do my sincere apology, and I'm going to put it out there to show people that I'm willing to grow in my business. So the positive is, even though I got a negative review, I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to now bravely conquer it and overcome it by now saying what I'm going to do. And now I've made a promise to any and all clients. Now, at this point, John may even think, oh, you know what? I'm going to take my most hated enemy and I'm going to refer him to Tony and see what my most hated enemy's experience was like, to see and test me. And if I all of a sudden do really good and he goes, geez, thanks for that recommendation. This was really a great experience. I don't know what your experience was like with Tony, but you know what? If it was anything like mine, it was totally enjoyable. Now, all of a sudden, John will go, wow, Tony took what I said and wanted to get better. So don't be afraid of that client review. And what's also nice about that client testimonial is that other people get to see and hear those great emotions that somebody gets at the time that they close escrow. Other videos, the interview video. Now you would think, well, geez, the client interview or client testimony is an interview, right? Stop, wait a minute. The interview video is other people, other things. Like, Rochelle, where do you do your marketing? Like what city? I'm going to point out Rochelle here. Rochelle, are you local? What about John? John, where do you market right now? Just, you can tell me the city. Laguna Niguel. Excellent. So, John, are there businesses in those areas? Like restaurants, dry cleaners, stores, things like that? Yes, right? Sorry, Orange County, I'm in Mission Viejo. Great, Rochelle. So Mission Viejo, same thing, right? You've got stores, you've got community, interview those businesses. One of the biggest things that people don't know in living in a city is what local businesses are in those areas. So this is a great opportunity to sit down with the local business owners and say, hey, I like to, I just want to let you know that I'm an agent, a local agent in the area. And I will, I'd like to interview you to inform potential buyers and of course, local homeowners about your business. Because if anything, we probably noticed that because of COVID, a lot of businesses shut down, right? But there are some businesses that remained open. So it forced us to go out of our comfort zone to maybe try out those new businesses, right? Anybody here during COVID last year try out a new restaurant that happened to be open? Even if it was for takeout? Probably, right? That you normally would not have gone to. But geez, that sleepy hole in the wall restaurant just down the street from your house that doesn't have a lot of business and they're teetering on that verge of closing down. would they be appreciative of the free advertising that you're about to give them? The opportunity to talk about their restaurant, or their dry cleaning services or whatever, right? So here, this now ties you in with that local community, the local businesses, to help bring the home livers, the home owners, in with the local businesses together to work with each other. Obviously, local and community videos, like what's going on in the community for 4th of July, Labor Day parade, whatever, right? Talk about that. Not everybody knows what's happening in their community, right? I know I get once a quarter a magazine about all the classes in Mission Viejo, right? But if I happen to see it in a video, because I don't like to read that big thick book, geez, did you know that just down the way at the local community center, they're going to be having a swim meet, next week at the YMCA pool there. The dive team is looking, from the local high school, is looking to gain gold or whatever. Talk a little bit about that. Market update videos are always important. People want to know what's been happening in the market. Buyers, sellers market, prices going up, down, interest rates, whatever. Special offers. Well, special offers not only from you, right? Hey, right now I'm running a 1% discount if you decide to list with me. So instead of a 10% commission, I'm going to cut you a break and only charge you 9%, right? Or, geez, you've interviewed the local business, and that local business says, you know what? If you mention that you saw this video and you come here and you mention Tony's name, I'm going to give you a 2-for-1 special, meaning buy one entree, get the second entree free. All you got to do is just mention Tony's name. Now, all of a sudden, they come in, hey, I saw that video you did. The agent's name was Tony. Now, all of a sudden, they get a meal free when they purchase one, right? Things like that. Client process update videos. This is important, okay? Again, most consumers don't understand the escrow process, right? And they look to their agent for some guidance. This is where you should be at least familiar with what needs to happen. So maybe you do a client process video, right? This video is not going to be seen by the world, so you don't make it public, but maybe you make it either unlisted or private. So, hey, John, I'm doing a quick video for you just to say congratulations, we opened escrow today. And just want to let you know that for the next 30 days, based on the contract, this is what's going to happen. We've got a 17-day contingency period ending on this date. In this 17 days, this will allow us to be able to do any and all inspections that you need. Like, we're going to have the home inspection done, this, that, and the other. Then after that, we've got a 21-day, or 5 extra days for that 21-day period for your loan process. By the way, this is where the loan lender is going to call you and is going to ask you for some information to be able to help you get your loan. Now, one important thing that you probably want to make sure you do, don't make any big purchases during this period because you don't want to affect your credit, right? Talk about that process. Because now all of a sudden we're hand-holding our clients through the entire way. Even for the seller. Hey, seller, just want to let you know, we've got a lot of disclosures here. We just accepted an offer. This is what the buyer is going to need to do. So this is what we need to do in order to be able to accommodate the buyer's inspectors, as well as what we need to do in these short time frames based on the contract. We need to get XYZ disclosures done. So this is what we're going to be able to do. Talk about that. Home buyer seller advice videos, top 3 things you need to do in order to buy a home or maybe list a home, things like that. Instructional videos. Hey, this is what we need to do next. This is what the process might be, things like that. Maybe you talk about your team or your office. Now, by the way, if you're a team of 1, you're not, right? Even though a lot of people go, well, geez, the team is just of agents, right? No, you have your title, your lender, and your escrow. They're all part of your team. You even have maybe a TC or an assistant. That's all part of your team. So introduce your title, your lender, and your escrow to your clients. Maybe in that interview, you interview them, right? You also have inspectors. You also have gardeners and electricians, right? That's all part of your team. Here are my services. Here are my vendors. Here are my, let's talk about what somebody needs to do or look for during an inspection. This is what an inspector looks for, things like that. Again, talk about any major events coming up, maybe at your office, maybe within the community. Here we get to brag about ourselves in our year in review, but wait a minute, we're also going to thank the people that we worked with to help us be successful this year. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, John. It was great working with you guys. I loved helping you purchase your home at 123 Main Street. Bob, I loved helping you buy your very first home on 789 Mordor Way. I hope you guys are just living large and enjoying that. And I hope you got that the contractor done to be able to install the new cabinets, right? So it's not just about me, it's about the people I worked with this year. And then of course, maybe you do a listing or pre-listing video, right? The old days, they used to have those big giant binders. It's called your pre-listing package. And you used to give that over and people barely ever looked at it. Well, here we do a video instead. Maybe you talk about the things that you want to be able to do, and you do, and you demonstrate this in a video format that when they look at it, wow, they did these videos and these virtual tours. And of course, I can't wait for him to come and interview here tomorrow, because I think it'll be an open and shut case. I want a list right then and there. All right. Now, the type of video will dictate how often you produce and record your videos. So like your year in review, guess what? You're only going to do that once a year. Market updates, that should be either your monthly or quarterly style videos. Community information, that should be at least weekly or monthly. Client testimonials, that's as needed. And of course, instructional videos are your monthly. Now, knowing the type of videos you're making will help you plan and schedule. So put those reminders on your calendars to record them and do them. So now the final part of the plan is the meet and greet. Here we go. Once we've made those connections, or the connections have been established, now it's time to get that person offline and meet them face to face. Meet them in person, right? Because that's how you are going to solidify your friendships that you're building. Because people need to actually meet each other. Now, regardless of what these big tech companies say out there, real estate is still, no matter what, and will always be a face-to-face business. Yes, technology has made it easier to buy and sell properties, but at the end of the day, people want to meet and see that home or meet their agent. They want to be able to solidify that bond. Not to mention, they still want to see that property. They don't necessarily buy the property sight unseen. That's in very rare cases. So you need to be there to be able to show them that home and talk about the community. And they want to see that online persona be the same persona that they meet in person. So the end goal of the game plan is that you try to inform these relationships. You're going to earn those connections that you're making in these relationships. You're going to get other people to like you on your Facebook and your YouTube channel and subscribe to you. Ultimately, you're going to meet up to be able to close the deal. Because what happens when we're able to close the deal, ladies and gentlemen? What do we got? Or what do we get at the end of the day? That's right, Ron, the payday. We're not dictated by trying to get the payday. We are rewarded by getting our payday, right? We solidify these relationships. We find the properties. We get this business that's out there. We shake the trees, and the shaking of the tree, the reward is the fruit that falls off the tree. That's right, Josh. The big money day. So we inform the relationships online if possible. We now bring them offline to meet and greet them. And then by the end of the day, because we have solidified those relationships and we've made that bond even stronger between us and the clients, we will ultimately earn our payday. And we are well worth it. we are well worth it. Don't let anybody sell you short. Don't even sell yourself short. It amazes me how many clients or how many agents out there don't know their own worth and are willing to work for slave wages. And what I mean by that, they're willing to work for free. Who works for free? You've got bills you've got to pay. You've got gas that needs to be put in the car. You've got mouths to feed, whether it's your own or your family's. Some of us, this is our main source of income. We're not going to cheat ourselves out of what we are owed. We're not going to cheat ourselves because we don't know our own value. I'm going to show people I am worth it. And this is the way we do that. Are there any questions on this? Is everybody super excited about making a video and doing social media marketing? 100%. Excellent, Ron. I know you are, because you're just starting off for yourself. Anybody else excited about making a video as we speak? Ron's the only person. There we go. John, you're building up to it. Well, John, that's good. You're building up to it, right? Remember that plan is going to help put this into action, right? Yes, loads of you shared. Excellent. Thanks, Jody. All right. So like with our first class, I've got a homework assignment for you, right? Oh, by the way, things to remember. We got to be mindful. There are things that we need to be careful of when it comes to our code of ethics and MLS rules. Okay. Most importantly, I know a lot of people go, well, I like to take videos at other people's listings. Okay. And we have to be careful because MLS rule 12.8 states that a listing shall not be advertised in any media, including the internet, by any participant or subscriber other than the agent, okay, or the listing broker without their prior consent. Okay. So what does this mean? It means that if you're making a video of another agent's listing, you have to get in writing permission from either the listing agent or the listing broker to be able to do that video or take that picture of someone else's property. Okay. So you don't do any Facebook lives from someone else's home if they're holding an open house, or you're walking through the property, you know, because your client's out in Tennessee or North Carolina or whatever. You have to, before you do that Facebook live or that Skype or even recorded video, you have to get that listing agent's permission first. Now, why is that needed? Well, according to the listing agreement, first and foremost, it states in the listing agreement that only the broker is authorized to advertise or market the property in any medium, whether it's written or electronic. Okay. And it's because the listing broker is in control over how the information is submitted and what's submitted on the internet. Okay. So we got to be super careful of that. If we accidentally do something or say something incorrect, now all of a sudden we've impeded up the selling of that home because, geez, the broker wasn't aware of it or the agent wasn't aware of what we just said. And now we've hurt the seller from selling their property. Okay. Now, the other thing is based on code of ethics, we also talk about perception. If we give a perception that we're the listing agent and we're not, now we're breaking code of ethics, article 12 of misleading the public, which is a huge fine. That's a $10,000 fine. Okay. So we have MLS rules that if we're advertising someone else's listing, right, or we're putting it like a market update and we're putting their listing on there, we have to give the full address to the property, as well as giving the listing agent and the listing office credit, because we don't want people to think that we're the listing agent on the home. So not only do I need to get written permission from the agent to do this, but I also now need to make sure that I give the listing agent and the listing office credit. Okay. So there's a lot of stuff here. So my basic word of advice is, unless you're the listing agent, don't ever do a video of someone else's listing. Okay. There's enough video material out there to talk about the neighborhood and things like that, and the market updates and stuff like that, that you do not need to talk about somebody else's property. And I know everybody goes, well, I'm trying to help them sell the home. It's not our job. For us to help them sell their home, we need to bring a buyer. And if we have a buyer for that property that's looking for that property, that's how we help them sell their home. We don't need to advertise somebody else's property because, again, if we say something incorrect, we have now hindered the seller and the listing agent and the listing brokerage, and now we're held even more liable for that. So don't do it. Okay. So, are there any questions on this? Thanks, John. All right. So for you guys, I do have a little homework assignment for class 2. And that is this: to help you start your way to be consistent. I want you at least to pick out one topic that you want to talk about on Facebook to post about. Just like you, I want you to write down what video you're going to record. Now from here, your homework assignment is I want you to put together some sort of schedule on your Facebook 3 times a day, right? Pick out 5 minutes, or 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes in the afternoon, 5 minutes at night. When's the best time for you to sit down and just go through your Facebook? Okay. Maybe you pick a topic that you want to talk about on Facebook: buying, selling, interest rates, whatever. Did you try a Facebook Live? Maybe you want to try that. Respond to someone's post that you post that commented on one of your posts. Did you respond to that? Now on your YouTube assignment, schedule a time to record a video, like your intro video. So when you hang up with me today, or we end our class today, at least write down maybe some key points to talk about in 30 seconds about you, and then post it, right? Now from there, to do your once a month, right? Because again, remember that schedule, once a month videos for right now. Pick out what topics you want to talk about in the next 6 months or 12 months that you want to touch on. So July, August, September, October, November, December, then January, February, March, April, May, June. Write down one topic that you want to record a video on for each and every one of these months. Then respond to responses on any of your videos as you post them. And then, of course, look at those analytics periodically. Now, I had mentioned earlier about video recording and things like this. A couple of key things here. I know everybody goes, well, I don't like the way I look on camera. John says, well, maybe I'm going to think about doing this. I want you to do it. Commit that to yourself, right? Now, the way we're going to do this is really easy with our cameras. We're not going to hold them necessarily lengthwise, but we're going to hold them horizontal. We're going to turn on our phones. We're going to go to the camera, and then we're just going to record. Now, again, if you have the stand, this is going to be easy. With your phone, it should be at least eye level or just above eye level. So the camera's up a little higher. Okay. Reason why that is that I don't want it to be so high where I'm tilting my head back, but I also don't want it so low that people see the magic that's underneath my mustache here, right? Nobody wants to see this, right? Not even I. So if your camera's just above eye level, great. Now, one thing here that a lot of people do, especially if we're talking about a minute or 2 minutes and you're trying to narrate maybe a listing video, do not talk for 2 minutes straight. Beautiful thing about the video editors like WeVideo or iMovie or anything like that, you can stop and stop, or start and stop audio. So pick a place, talk a little bit about it, stop it, then pick another place where you want to talk. Reason why that is that a lot of people will try to talk for those 2 minutes straight, and you'll get more mess ups than anything else. If you talk about something for a little bit, you give yourself a little break, you get people to enjoy the property, and then you talk about something else. And then you talk about another thing, and then you talk about another thing. You split it up. Gives you a chance to breathe during the whole thing. One thing I will tell you in your intro videos, I know some of you will, especially if this is your first time, you'll probably won't ever blink and you won't take a breath. Right? Hi, this is Anthony. I'm with Jack and Jill Real Estate, and I just want to say thank you guys very much for trying to take a chance on me being a real estate agent. Just so you know, I'm a Orange County specialist, and I specialize in buyers and sellers, and I just like this. And there we go. Right? It'll be okay. Everybody does that the very first time. But the more you do this and the more repetition this happens, and the more videos you do of different video types, you're going to notice yourself starting to relax. You're going to end up starting to smile more. You're going to start breathing more and regularly, and you're going to take pauses naturally, right? That by your 100th video, you're going to see a totally different person because you've done it so routinely, right? It's like doing that listing presentation. Anybody here ever do a listing presentation? Do you remember the first time you did it? Were you super nervous? Did you break out in sweats, right? No different than video. The key thing for video is don't think that you're talking to an audience. Think that you're talking to the individual. I am connecting with you. I am looking right at John. I am looking at Josh. I am looking at Rochelle. And I'm speaking to you guys or you directly. I don't think about the hundreds of people that might see this or the hundreds of people I'm wanting to connect with. Once you do that, we start thinking that we're talking in front of a huge crowd and we might get nervous. But if I think of you as being at an open house and I'm meeting you or I'm showing you at a listing appointment, we're going to have a nice natural conversation. And we're going to talk, and I want to connect, and we're going to engage. And that's how we begin to think about it. Okay? Are there any questions on any of this? PP? What is PP? Ron? I thought it was a how-to video. What did you think was? Oh, PowerPoint. PowerPoint. And actually, Ron, it's PPT. If you're talking about the acronym for PowerPoint. Yes, everybody will get a copy of today's presentation. I'll send it to you via my Dropbox link. The mechanics of doing social media video. John, that's really easy. Well, today was all about the content. I do have a video class on how to actually produce a video. For Rochelle, that WeVideo, if you're not using iMovie, is really easy. Again, if you're a Mac user or even a PC user or even an Android user, I love this tool. If we go to wevideo.com, and let's see if I can get to their main website here. Here they've got a very easy pricing platform. Like I said, it is a paid service. This one I really like just because how easy it is to make a video. You can go with as little as $5 a month. I think I went in at $7 or $8 a month to make unlimited 1080p HD 4K video. Here we can make 30-minute videos at a shot. Here I'm unlimited in the sense of about 2.5 hours for one video. Not that anybody here would ever make a 2-hour long movie, but just know you could. Here, when I do log in and I want to make a video, I can go to my project screen. And then let's go with, and for $8 a month, you can make unlimited amounts of videos here. But just say I wanted to make a video on WeVideo, I just go over to the top right corner, click the plus sign, click on and create a new video. And now from here, I'm going to import, say, my photos or my pictures. And now down below, I have my timeline. And all I need to do now is just simply find the video clip, bring it down, or find the picture clip and pull it down to make my videos. So I can put all my pictures together for the property. I can put in transitions. I can add in music. And they do give you some basic music once you pay for the service that you can play and then add in. But more importantly, I can hit under my media, the record button. And now I can record my screen. I can use my webcam. I can do a mixture of both. And then say, as an example, I'm doing my webcam. And again, I'll have to excuse the mess in my office here, but I can now hit start recording. And 3, 2, 1. I'm now recording the video and we're talking about the market, and maybe I have my green screen behind me, this, that, and the other. And then when I hit stop, I can then review it, then save it. And now where is it? At the tail end here of my timeline is my video. So I can put in multiple video clips together, or I can record one. So if you guys are doing like instructional videos or how-to videos or whatever else, you could do this. And then at the end of the day, we'll go back. Come on. At the end of the day, what I can do is when I hit finish, I can now say I want HD at basically 1280 by 720, or I can go 1080, or I can go 4K. I can even merge my WeVideo account, say with my YouTube channel or my Facebook business page. And once the video is created, it's automatically posted on the YouTube channel or on my Facebook business page, or even better yet, I just leave it here and then I can download the actual video to upload it myself. So that's how easy this is. iMovie for Mac users is pretty darn simple. Same kind of concept here. The pictures are on my computer, but I just simply, for free, just go to iMovie and I can do the exact same thing. I can put pictures together. I can add in music. I can put picture in picture. I can add in titles. As a matter of fact, iMovie is a little bit more powerful in that sense versus WeVideo. Though WeVideo is a really easy and simple tool, but if I wanted to add in title shots and things like that, even though this does have something like that similar, it's just a little bit more to finagle it the way I want. Whereas with iMovie, I have full on carte blanche to do everything and anything, just like Movie Maker does too. But there you go. Does that help there, John? Rochelle, awesome. Thank you. Great class. I'm going to use some of the tools that I learned today. Thank you. Yes. Awesome. If you guys ever get a chance, I would love for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just simply go to YouTube and then you can look up my name. Just here on YouTube, just at the very top of the screen where it says search, just type in Tony, Tony. My last name is spelled B-R-I, E as in elephant, D as in dog. There you go. You see my picture. There's the name of my channel. Click on it. Looks like I got an extra subscriber today. And then here you can go to my videos and you can see all my various different training videos. Some are very simple how-tos. Others are recorded webinars like today. And of course, I've got some other stuff in between, like some cooking videos, because I love cooking food. And you guys can have fun with that. I try to at least post a video once a month up here. Maybe a couple of times depending on the topics, but you'll see that type of stuff there. Okay. Other than that, are there any other questions? And if you guys do make your YouTube channel, please invite me to subscribe. I'll be more than happy to subscribe to you because I like to see what videos you guys are making. And another really cool thing too, to look at what other people are doing. Like as an example, Greenville, North Carolina. Here, amazingly enough, we've got people that talk about the towns that they live in. These are not necessarily real estate agents. But if we were to type in, say, Mission Viejo, California, pros and cons of living in Mission Viejo. We got one agent that does that. Orange County, California, somebody driving down the street. So there's room in here for you guys to talk about the cities that you're marketing in. So try that out. Try that out. All right. Let me see here. Let me give you my contact information. If you all want to call me or email me for a request to get today's presentations for both class 1 and class 2, feel free to email me at Tony, Tony, at ocar.org. That's ocar.org, or Tony, Tony, at ocrealtors.org. My phone number, if you want to call me, 949-586-6800, extension 104. With that said, are there any other questions today? This is also for PC. Yes, WeVideo is also for PC. I like it just because it's on the internet. I don't have to worry about downloading any software. It's constantly updated. And again, I can go from my phone on the website and then go directly onto my computer and access the same website, access the same video, and continue on with my edits even there. So maybe I take the picture of the property, start to put it together on my iMovie or WeVideo, and then I can come now back to my computer and finish it out, which is really cool. Thank you very much, Ron. All right, everybody. Well, I want to thank everybody for attending today. I look forward to seeing you all really soon. I can't wait to see what you guys are going to do. I would love to hear back from you the moment you start to see some success, because I like to get feedback from you guys, because that's just going to improve me even better to see if what I'm teaching you guys is actually working. I know that the people that I've spoken to in the past really like it the moment they start getting more and more consistent. So I like to see agents be, successful in today's business. So with that said, I want to thank everybody very, very much. I hope you all have a great and wonderful day and a great and wonderful weekend if I don't speak to you soon. And I will talk to you all very, very soon. Bye-bye.